how did you guys decide? What factors did you guys consider when applying to college, choosing a major? One of those major decisions that you had to make. How did you decide?
First, I really liked Mira's and Drew's answers on the other questions. Um, and for me, I did not know really what career path I was going to choose when I applied to college. And it has drastically since I applied to college. And my opinions about what kind of life I want have also changed drastically. And I'm really happy with my decision to go to BU because it's somewhat close to home, but it's also in a city. And I'm from a really rural area. And I think it's a really good decision to sort of go somewhere that's going to challenge you in some way. So for me, moving to a city was a little scary, but it also gives a lot of like work opportunities. um, and I got to BU because I moved to a city, I started missing being able to go on hikes and stuff. And so I joined all these environmental clubs, and I ended up with another major that's in environmental studies, and that's definitely true that you're picking a school that's based on your interests right now, but your interests really change and schools change and your career path changes and everyone changes their major or minor. So, it's really nothing is the end of the world in this narrative of choosing.
Yeah, for me, I don't think applying was really a tough decision that I had to make. I knew I wanted to go to schools kind of close to home. I live in Arizona, so I applied to the three main Arizona universities, and then I applied to schools in California. So my pool was kind of already a little bit limited by that. And so I ended up just, kind of finding the best match and going to the school that I wanted to the most. In terms of major, though, that was, like Andrew said, I think largely determined by my interest in high school. So in high school, I shadowed a psychiatric hospital, and I really liked that. And I also did a competition called the Brain Bee, which challenges like high school students to learn about the brain. It's kind of like the spelling bee, but about the brain. Really fun. And I know it exists in a lot of states, so if you guys have it, I encourage you to try it. But, I did that in high school. And so I was like, okay, UCLA offers a neuroscience major, so I may as well try that. So that's what I still am right now. I'm a second year neuroscience major. That wasn't that much of a tough decision for me, but a lot of people do change their major, which is very, very normal. I have friends that are also second years that have changed their majors like 6, 7 times. So don't be afraid of that. If you feel like it's not working out for you, absolutely you should change it.
Yeah, I totally agree with Andrew and Drove. I went to Columbia thinking I would be majoring in German and anthropology because Columbia has the oldest, or like the first anthropology department in the country. And I was like really psyched about it. And then I took an anthropology class and I was like, oh, actually, I really don't like this. And I like kind of through literature and like theater and all this stuff found my way over to American studies, which is like this amalgamation of history and English and sociology and whatever. And it's great. But yeah, I would say in terms of applying, I didn't have a good strategy, and I applied to like schools that I thought were really pretty and like competitive, which is I wouldn't recommend that as a strategy. I was like, oh, I like this like building. I want to live in New York, but I don't want to go to NYU. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll apply to Columbia. And then obviously I'm from Virginia, so like obviously the Virginia schools are really big here. And then like other random schools like Swarthmore and Northwestern. So there was like no really rhyme or reason to my application strategy. I don't think necessarily there needs to be, if you have the like luxury of applying to multiple schools. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. I mean, I would say like don't go crazy and apply to like 30 schools or whatever the common cap is, but like, like put your feet, what you like in September might not be what you like in May even. And especially I will say like, especially right now, like with the state of the world as it is, you don't know like what things will look like in a couple months, in a year. So like give yourself the room to choose something different if you change your mind.